Hello everyone, so this is a quick run through of our last short writing assignment, which is on queer feminist futures reflection. This comes to no surprise, it's pretty much the standard format now for our short paper assignments. Again, it's due this Sunday, June 24th, 2 to 3 pages, separate works cited, must include at least one reading from week 6. So in this assignment, you're going to be reflecting on what you think of as an inclusive, queer, and feminist social justice activist platform and how it should look like. This assignment is in 2 parts. So the first part of the essay, you're going to be choosing a social justice movement. It doesn't have to be the Women's March on Washington. It can be any sort of movement that you want. And you're going to be discussing it and critiquing it and, analyzing it. And then the second part is where you're going to reflect on what a queer feminist movement politics would look like. So for the first assignment, I'm asking you to select a recent social justice issue and movement in the U.S. So it does not have to be, though it can be, the Women's March on Washington. But there are plenty of other ones that you can look at, from Black Lives Matter to the DACA movement to Time's Up, Me Too. And even if there's like a smaller social justice issue that you want to look at, you can totally use that as well. So I'm allowing you to choose your example that you want. Have it something that's a little bit broad enough to make sure that, it's something that affects us nationally. So I think it'll be the easier for you to critique and sort of look at, but it's up to you. Once you've selected it, I want you to explain key issues around the issue, give me some of the main arguments or activism around it and why this is a social justice issue. Basically, give me an introduction to it. Don't assume that I know it. Even though I probably would, I still want you to give me a summary of it. And then I want you to look at the movement critically and to answer these 2 questions. Reflect on how this movement has included a diversity of voices. What voices or certain populations were represented or have been represented, and what voices may have been left out or marginalized. And then 2, I want you to answer, would you consider the example that you've chosen, whatever it is, an example of queer feminism in action? Or why and or why not? It could be a little bit of both. For the second part, I want you to reflect on queer feminism, and that's all you're going to be doing. And in this one, I want you to explain what queer feminism means to you and how do you see it in action. So I want you to answer these questions in your reflection. How would you explain queer feminism to an outsider who's never heard of this term before? So i.e. has never heard, especially of queer feminism, but maybe has never even heard of queer and feminism, okay? And what would be the main point or points you would want to emphasize in explaining this to somebody? And then 2, what is needed for any sort of social justice movement, whether it's Black Lives Matter, to Me Too, etc., right? To be queer and feminist. And then lastly, what can queer feminism bring to social justice movements? Like, why is it important for a movement to be queer feminist? So just, again, a reminder that you cannot turn in this assignment late, meaning because of the pretty strict rules on when I have to get graded in, I can't have you guys turn in late assignments. I literally have to turn all my assignments in, all the grades in, by noon on that following Monday. So all papers and missed assignments are due Sunday, June 24th at 11:59 p.m. sharp. But again, don't forget to include one reading from week 6. And also really important, answer all the questions fully. Even if you feel like you can't fully answer it, that's okay. Just talk about it. Address it at least. Okay? I'm looking forward to reading them.